Alright, so today we are talking about equations of circles in a coordinate plane. The equation of a circle is centered at the origin, so this means the center is at where the two lines are crossing. It's going to be in the form x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where r is my radius. If it's anywhere else on the circle, I want to use this formula. The x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. HK is the center of my circle, and it has opposite the signs when it's in the formula. So if I take a look at number 1, where is the center of this circle? This one's at the origin, so 0, 0. And if I count from the origin to one of the points where it crosses the circle, how big is my radius? 3. So then since this one's centered at the origin, I want to use the top formula. It's going to be x squared plus y squared equals 3 squared. And then typically we will square out that 3. So 3 squared is, and that's my equation right there. So then this next one, it tells me my center is at 1, 4. That is going to be my HK. They always go in alphabetical order. And then my radius is 3, so that's going to be the R. So when I plug into this formula, I'm going to have x minus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 3 squared. So the only thing I want to do to simplify this is I just want to square out that 3, which we said earlier is 9. Same thing for number 3, HK, for the numbers in the parentheses, R is my radius. So when I plug this one in, I'm going to have a double negative. So I have x minus negative 3 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 7 squared. So the double negative I want to turn into a positive. And then the y minus 6 part stays the same. What is 7 squared? Same thing for number 4. I have HK and then R. So I'm going to have x minus negative 4 squared plus y minus negative 1 squared equals 5.8 squared. So I get rid of my double negatives. And then 5.8 squared is 33.64. Number 5 says it's centered at the origin, so that's the top formula. And then my radius is 3 square root of 5. So I have x squared plus y squared equals, and then, oops, 3 times the square root of 5 should be in the parentheses. I wrote the wrong number. And then I square it. So when I go to type this in my calculator, I want to do parentheses 3, and then square root of 5, close off the parentheses, and then square it. So this one gives me 45. This one wants me to find the equation of the circle. So my center is right here. What is the coordinate point of that center? And then I want to count to the side to see how many away it is. What's my radius? So then I plug into the formula. I have x minus 5 squared plus y minus negative 5 squared equals 4 squared. So that double negative is going to turn positive, and 4 squared is Number 6 wants me to write the equation of the circle centered at the origin containing the point 2, 0. So, I'm going to draw this picture. I'm centered at the circle, and if I'm going through the point 2, 0, I'm going to the right 2. So what is my distance from there to there? 2. So I'm going to have x squared plus y squared equals 2 squared. Which just gives me x squared plus y squared equals 4. So I could do the same thing for number 7. It tells me where it's centered at, and it tells me where the point is at, but if I go and draw this, it's going to be a slanted line and not a nice straight line that I can count. So it's better to use the distance formula for number 7. Yes, 7. So remember, my distance formula is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so I'm going to label the center HK, and I'm also going to label it x sub 1, y sub 1. And then my point is going to be x sub 2, y sub 2. So I'm going to plug into this formula. I'm going to have the square root of 4 minus 1 squared plus negative 2 minus 2 squared. And this is going to give me my radius when I'm done solving. Okay, so 4 minus 1 gets me 3. And then negative 2 minus 2 gets me negative 4. So squaring those, I get 9, and then plus 16, because I want to make sure I put the negative in parentheses when I square on my calculator. And then 9 plus 16 is 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. So my radius here is 5. Now I can plug into the formula. I'm going to have x minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 5 squared. And then I just need to go ahead and square out my 5. Which gives us 25. Okay. This next part wants me to prove or disprove the point square root of 2 lies on the circle from number 6. So this equation, I'm plugging that in for x and y. So I'm going to have the square root of 2 squared plus the square root of 2 squared equals 4. If I don't know what the square root of 2 squared is, I can do it in the calculator. Like this, which gives me back 2. So I have 2 plus 2 equals 4. Is that true? Yes. It's on the circle. So if it wasn't true, I would say no. Okay. Then the last thing I have is I want to graph the circle with the equation. So first thing I want to do is I want to figure out where my center is. What's the center of this? It's going to be opposite those signs. So 4, negative 2. And then my radius is the square root of the number it equals. So the square root of 9 is 3. So I want to go ahead and at 4, negative 2, I want to plot a point for my center. And then with my radius, I'm going to go up and down 3 and left and right 3 from that point I just drew. So like that. And then I'm just going to try and make it a nice curvy circle going through all of those points.